see you looking out your window. I see you looking out your window. What do you see? Wondering what you're thinking. Wondering what you're thinking. What can it be? Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. You've got the professor. My name's Darren, along with my lovely wife, Kim. And we're going to continue with the second half of the fat cow. So just kind of to tie it in a little bit here, we did go and take the footage back and look at it and look at it and look at it. Now, the interesting thing is when you have like, I don't know, 9, 10, 11 different cameras and a lot of them are running constantly until the batteries die, that's a lot of footage. You know, to be honest with you, most people will never look at all of that stuff, you know. So here I am just, you know, copying stuff, and some stuff you have to copy in real time. You know, if you're playing back some of the original tapes or high definition tapes, they record in real time. You can't just, you know, drag and drop a couple different files. And so, you know, in going through this and looking at all this stuff, you know, you see the same camera spot, same camera angle, you know, here's an hour. So you're working on stuff, and so all of a sudden in the corner of your eye, you see blink. It's like, whoa, what was that? You know, so all of a sudden you stop, and, you know, usually it'll jog wheel, and you wind back, you don't see, all of a sudden, poof. You know, so once again, here's 40 hours worth of footage, and the thing you would have missed occupies 3 seconds. But that 3 seconds is incredible. So you've got a basement, you've got dust in the air. So, you know, dust is going to kind of move around if it's a breeze or anything like that. Most of it's pretty quiet. And all of a sudden, you know, here comes this little glowing object.
An orb.
And it gets bigger, and it doesn't come straight. It kind of curves right, curved left, and then kind of rotated on its axis. And then when I looked at that orb in that position, you could make out 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. You know, now, once again, you know, artistic expression, all these different types of things. But to me, it looks like a face. And I'm supposed to be the, you know, the scientific side of this thing, but it's a face. You know, and then same thing. It goes and it curves off screen into a different direction. Like I said, 3 seconds. You know, to actually catch that is almost insane. You know, it's kind of like, you know, if you're out in the woods with one camera looking for the Beast of Bray Road or a Sasquatch, different thing. You play back one video clip and you're done. But I think we had 4 cameras on the surveiller system. We had 2 night vision cameras running nonstop in the basement. We had all the stuff on the inside. We had the G85, the GH4, we didn't have the GH5 yet. We had the G7 and just a bunch of stuff like the action cameras and all those types of things. Just all those different files to look at. And once again, a 3-second clip and bang, there was it. But now going back to you and Claire in the basement. Now I was there for none of that. So I was upstairs doing my thing, not getting much results. So it's a guy thing. I don't know.
It's a
guy thing. So now you're in the basement with Claire. Kind of tell me some of the extra things that went on down there when the two of you were alone in the basement.
So Claire was explaining to me that there are different levels of ghost spirits, sprites, and some are so lower leveled that they're like an imp. They're a little nasty.
Sounds like an episode of Charmed, the lower level demons.
Yeah, they're just nasty little things, and she doesn't acknowledge them ever. She said because they're not worth her time. So, but she said, so you have, and then she started pointing at the strong ones. So I turned the camera, and I can't get a lot out of my camera, but all of a sudden I see 4 different bright lights. And they're not bright. They're kind of dim in my eyes, but they're if you're in the dark and you can see light and then the light's moving, that's kind of cool. So I was excited about that.
Is dark. I mean,
dark.
There's no light. We're using our headlights and flashlights just to make it through there safely without killing ourselves. So once you turn that off,
Yep.
dark.
And things just seem to work better when it's pitch black. I always wondered why they always shut all the lights off. But you can see so much better in the dark. I don't know if that makes much sense to you, but it does if you're looking for a light, something that's not normally there. So it works out better, and I was able to see some pretty interesting things. And while this was going on, we heard a lot of noises going on. So...
Yeah, and there shouldn't be any noise in the basement because everything's, over a story up above, and it's pretty solid, so...
Right. But it would be like kids playing kind of a sound. We heard like people walking on the boards, but nobody was there but Claire and myself. So it was interesting, and you knew when something was really going on because Claire's eyes would get real big.
And then toward the end, she didn't want to be there anymore, did she?
No, Claire was not a happy camper in the basement. She thanked me, of course, for telling her she needed to have shoes on. But it was... she kept feeling... She kept looking behind her and stuff. So it was almost... She had a lot of them coming after her. She said that there were just hundreds of them. So...
Now, these were the sprites or the imps or the lower level things?
The lower level entities. Okay. These are the ones that were brought in from the snots coming in, playing the Ouija board and doing stuff like that. So they left a door...
With a portal, possibly?
Left a portal open. So things were coming and going, and a lot of them were staying, and they were inviting their buddies. So pretty soon they had just a big old party of imps and things downstairs in the basement.
Yeah, so, Sophia thinks she's got it bad at her house.
Holy crap-a-roni. It is serious downstairs. So anyway, when I was bringing Claire through, giving her a tour of what I've already had a tour of, she said that he's the one guy, she got his name, was angry about a doorway and about another doorway. And then when we asked the owners, they said yes. They said that they had closed this off because Claire was talking about names on the wall, and
the old pin setters.
It's the pin setters. So we had to get out from there and then walk all the way back where we were at to go into another room, and then go back to the other side where you could see that this was closed off, and there was the pin setters' names and.
There's small trophies in there too, weren't there?
Yeah, there's trophies in there, and she's like, I said, you should. What happened with the trophies is the husband said, let's just get rid of this junk. And when that happened, what did she say happened in the basement? But he was mad, calling his stuff junk. So I said, I had stated that, it's not junk. These are really cool things. And we should get some of those up and show them off. But we don't play pool. We don't play, pool and softball and all sorts of stuff. And I said, my dad had a bar, and he was the host for horseshoes, and he would throw money in for other stuff too. A lot of bars, they've got softball and baseball and volleyball and all sorts of stuff.
The activities change over the years. I mean, people get tired of horseshoes. Next thing there's no more horseshoes, and it's darts on the inside, or the weather.
Yeah.
You can play darts year round, and or darts gets boring, and then next thing you know, volleyball is the big thing. So you got trophies from the last it had to be going back 80 years as far as those trophies down there.
I
So,
think a bulb snapped when he said it was junk and then heard a loud bang. There's also a box with Christmas decorations. And when I was walking by it, the tree went wagga, 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 scared the bejesus out of me. I squealed like a little girl. I tell you, I did.
yeah, I remember walking through that area too, and you just get that feeling like something's going on, like the little cold breeze, little hairs on your arm stand up, and then I got scratched. I'm like, oh my God, he got me. Actually, I backed into the Christmas decorations. Yeah, oh, something's scratching me. Huh? No, it's a box of ornaments with the little hooky things. So, anything else that you remember from the cold, dark basement with Claire?
There's times that the hair was sticking up on my arms and it would just freeze me. You could feel it just like you're getting thrown into the cooler. It's crazy.
Oh, we forgot to talk about the coolers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the one cooler is not used anymore, so they've got that locked and nobody can go in. And the other one, when they do go in the cooler, they make sure it's propped open so it doesn't get closed behind them. Now, I do believe there's a way to get out once you're inside, like an inside latch. So it's like you'd be stuck there permanently or something. But yeah, it does close on people, but it's only the females.
Yeah, the dude hates women. So with her help, we were able to calm him enough to allow the bartenders to go down the stairs and into that room. As long as the gals don't go past that doorway, he will leave them be. If they go past that, then he said, anything goes.
And that's where the guys take over, taking anything further, and then the females just go up to that point, and then
Yeah, the uncle will take care of the stuff that's way down there. Or
I do remember the alcohol. If I remember right, I think it was alphabetical order as far as the bottles. I mean, that was just me looking at the A, B, C, Bacardi, and those types of things. I think it was alphabetized. Even I could find something down there, I think.
Alcohol. All alcohol.
Yeah, so interesting on there. And then talking about some of the other stuff, when the other crew was there doing their thing, they brought out the spirit boxes and stuff. And I know they talked about Fitzy's bowling ball would kind of move around on its own. Now, the floor, as far as the foundation, is very level. I mean, we moved that bowling ball, and it sat in one spot. I mean, it sat in one spot. Moved it to another spot, it sat. So it didn't physically roll based on a saggy or leaning foundation or anything else. Now, what I do remember about that is when I came upstairs to check on some of the recordings to make sure the stuff was, not eating some extra batteries or different tapes or memory cards or something, I did go back in, and the bowling ball had moved. The bowling ball was no longer in the center of that room. It had moved all the way to a different room. So when I got back upstairs, I asked, what happened to the bowling ball?
And the uncle said,
Well, I didn't want you guys tripping on it, so we moved to the other room where it'd be safer.
bum, bum, bum.
So not only was I scratched, and we had a moving bowling ball, all could be explained away. But the orb, the sprites, the other stuff that was going on, and once again, either you believe or you don't believe. And, if you believe in something, that just makes it more fun and interesting. So once again, is it a happy situation like the happy entity upstairs, or is it a grumpy puss in the basement that's, got their own deal going on? And based on that, if there's a way to talk to this person, whether it's through a spirit box or, a medium or something, what would make them happy? What would calm them down? Not like everybody's got to leave and go their own place. Now, if it's in my house, I might want to, smudge the place, leave something up and get them out of there and, seal it back up. But, if I do something different a day or a week later, it's not to say that something else comes in and takes its place. So once again, kind of like coexisting and just playing nice,
Now, not all spirits are bad. There's kind spirits. like the fun-loving drunk upstairs. He just wants to have a good time.
Or Casper.
And, he's keeping the bad guy away, so there's not a problem. And he likes to party, and he likes to be around people that like to party. So as long as he's not causing problems, what's the problem? If he doesn't want to go, don't make him go. It's the bad ones that you want to have go.
Yeah, and to date, I don't think we've come across anything really evil or mean yet.
Yes, we have.
Which one was that?
In Escanaba.
Oh, no.
That nasty, nasty one.
Yeah, okay, that's an episode coming up as far as their adventures. Oof.
That was a spooky
Escanaba.
situation.
So that'll probably be one of our next episodes, I think. So after wrapping up the fat cow and, having to put together a nice video for these guys for their St. Patrick's Day party before we went on vacation. So once again, with the shirts that we printed and the video, some good stuff. So interesting stories, interesting people as far as the bowling alley, the orb, the sprites, meeting Claire Moon and getting the reading there. So I'd like to do another episode with Claire if we can actually get a hold of her. Been a little tough with some transitioning going on in Sheboygan Falls. So hopefully everything worked out well there, and possibly make a return trip to the Fat Cow and, see if things have changed as far as their procedures and bringing the picture upstairs and, cleaning out the doorways and stuff like that. So it's happy. No, we also forgot about the two toilets, the twin toilets in that one bathroom.
Oh, my goodness. How did we forget about the twin toilets?
You just got to figure out which one actually works and use that one and not the other one.
I wouldn't use either one.
So, yeah, lots of history there, lots of stuff. And if I remember, once we wrapped up and said our farewells for this part of the Fat Cow, we did go check out the asylum just around the corner, still in Sheboygan Falls, just a few miles away. Wow. Talk about a foreboding-looking, evil-looking place, especially as you get there right when the sun starts to go down. So we got to come back there and get some drone shots and check out the inside. But we do have our intro to that, so that'll be the next episode.
But a quick one about it. It has its own water tower and its own communications. It's like its own little entity.
Like NORAD. North American Rare Air Defense. And I've been through there too, but we weren't allowed to carry cameras or anything like that. Of course, it was about 100 years ago. So other than that, anything else on the Fat Cow? So we talked about the SLS at the bar, the figure on the left where the monkey was, the mom leading in and kissing. Nothing really popped up on any of the other full spectrum cameras. We caught nothing there. The two audio recorders doing the voice sessions, nothing on that. I forgot about one thing. The tie-in. So this will tie into actually probably 5 or 6 of my little adventures. A couple I went off and did on my own, but I had the other crew with their spirit box, some really good stuff once they got it tuned in with the reverb and everything. I asked them if they could ask for a name. Just ask them, so who is with us here today? And so they did that, and straight out of the blue, Ed. Now, Ed pops up a bunch. Now, basically what the spirit box does, it just scans radio stations. Now, if you're out in the Tules like we are, you're going to get nothing on a spirit box because there are no radio stations. We can't catch a TV station here with an antenna because of the mountain and everything else, so no radio stations, or anything. So when you're a city like that, you have multiple stations, not being that far from Milwaukee, Fox Valley, and all the different stations, Fond du Lac too. All it does is just scan back and forth quickly. So you can set it up on AM or you can set it up on FM, and it just goes back and forth looking for a name. So the theory is that the entity, once it hears a word it wants to use, it can grab that word and then spit it back through the speaker. So the random chance of asking the question to get an instant response with the word Ed, the name Ed, interesting. So once again, either you believe or you don't. But when you keep getting things that repeat itself, I would kind of lean toward I do.
Ed's been following Darren, by the way.
Yeah, and Ed plays nice, and I play nice too. So once again, we coexist and all that fun stuff.
As
So,
long as he doesn't harm us, we're good.
or maybe he really did move that bowling ball.
Could be. You never know.
Or maybe that was his face in that orb. You never know.
Boom, boom, boom.
But the only thing I do know is that
It's always an adventure.
All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. So we're going to pick it up next time. I think we're going to head over to the haunted school, and we'll pick up some stuff there and also talk about our tie-in to the asylum. So stay tuned again. Thanks everybody. I see you looking out your window. I see you looking out your window. What do you see? I wonder what you're thinking. Maybe they're looking back at us. Maybe it's looking back at us.
It could be.
Maybe it is Ed.
Could be. Hello, Ed. You need to have